You know that title actually has multiple meanings? Every single one is a spoiler, so I'm not going to tell you what they are, but it's pretty clever. Boy, was this movie a surprise. When I saw the trailers for this thing, I wasn't that interested. I thought, alright, video game NPC becomes self-aware? Pretty cool concept, but is this just gonna be video game physics used for a bunch of sight gags? Seems like that would get old pretty quickly. I'll probably pass on this one. And the trailers didn't really make me laugh or anything, so I didn't think much of it at the time and kinda wrote it off. Then I saw the movie. And there was so much more going on here than I thought there would be. In fact, I think the advertising really did Free Guy a disservice, because everything I saw made it look like just some goofy, run-of-the-mill CG fest comedy. And maybe it is on the surface, but there's layers here. Like, a lot of layers. For starters, it's a lot more thoughtful than I expected. As the main character, Guy, becomes more aware of himself and the world around him, he starts asking some pretty thought-provoking questions about everything that's going on. Am I real? Is this world real? If we're all just lines of code in a computer somewhere, then is that all we can be, or can we be more than this? And yeah, it all has a humorous, jokey tone to it, but it did make me think about this stuff. And I love when a movie can do that. It happens less often than one might think. And I'm not trying to sell the humor short, because that works a lot better than I thought it would too. You're sure all the predictable video game sight gags are in there, but when you see them in context, they're actually a lot more entertaining than the trailers made them look. Yeah, some of them are low-hanging fruit, but there are others that land really well. And they threw in a bunch of Easter eggs that weren't in any of the trailers I saw, which is great because those were the best parts. There were at least 2 of those that had me cheering and howling with laughter. But then we also get the layers, because there's more to it than that. The story is deeper than you'd think. See, when I saw the movie, I didn't know there were 2 separate plots. You have the plot in the video game, and then the plot in the real world about the company that runs the game, and the corrupt CEO, and the people he screwed over to get where he is, which lets them do a lot of fun commentary about the video game industry and gaming culture and stuff. Gamers should really get a kick out of this movie. And I'm not much of a gamer myself, admittedly, but even I appreciated a lot of what they did here. I also appreciated that this is where you get Taika Waititi, who's easily the funniest thing in the movie, even if he is so over the top he almost feels out of place at times. And the rest of the cast is very good too. Ryan Reynolds, he's pretty much just playing himself in every movie, so how good he is kind of depends on the material he's got to work with, but the material here is good, so we get the good Ryan Reynolds. But the real standout here I thought was Jodie Comer, who I'd never seen in anything before, but I was super impressed with her in this film. She has to play 3 different versions of the same character here. Her younger self, her adult self, and her tough, sexy, badass video game avatar, and in every case I thought, yeah, I totally buy this. And not only that, but she had to have believable romantic chemistry with Ryan Reynolds and Joe Keery. Pulls it off, makes it look easy. And normally I have very little patience for love triangles, but when one point on that triangle is a video game character, that's just weird enough to pique my interest. And the actual triangle isn't played up that much in the movie anyway. They focus on it just enough to make you care, but not so much that it becomes annoying. And if you absolutely have to do a love triangle, that's the way to do it. But I think what surprised me more than anything was how much heart this movie has. And I really don't want to get into spoilers here because not knowing that much about the movie before I saw it really enhanced my experience, but I was caught off guard by how much I grew to care about the characters and their relationships and what happens to them. Even some of the other NPCs in the game plot are surprisingly endearing. And during the climax, when everything started going tits up, I was enjoying the ride, I was laughing, but I was also really invested. I didn't mean that to sound sexual. Like hoping that character would make it and feeling sad when they didn't, or rooting for these 2 characters to figure out what's going on between them. It made me care the way I wanted Ready Player One to make me care. If we're gonna draw comparisons, let's do that one. They're both about video games. Like, Ready Player One's an amazing spectacle, the fan service is cool, and you do root for the heroes to succeed, but it all feels a little bit hollow. The relationships are just there. The Parzival Artemis thing is kinda meh. Believe it or not, I felt like there was more to get behind with the characters and relationships in this movie. And yeah, it surprised the hell out of me too. No one is more shocked to hear me say this than I am, but I think Free Guy might be the best movie I've seen this summer. Granted, most of the movies I've seen this summer have not been great, but I mean that in a good way. Don't be fooled by the trailers like I was. Free Guy is smarter, funnier, more exciting, and more thoughtful than the marketing made it look. And I really hope it does well. This movie deserves to be a big hit because it was able to do what so many movies these days try and utterly fail to do. It took a fun, interesting concept and actually lived up to it. So there's at least one movie this summer I can say that about. Now that summer's almost over. They cut it close, but they made it. So if you're like me in thinking that summer movie season has not been much to write home about this year, don't let Free Guy pass under your radar. It's an unexpected bright spot, but sometimes those are the best kind. Thanks for watching, you know the drill. Ding that bell icon and follow me on social media so you'll always know when I upload new stuff. I also have a live streaming channel now, the links are down there. And most importantly, don't forget to leave a comment, thumbs up the video, share, subscribe, and make sure you're still subscribed, because what really deserves to be erased from existence by having the server it lives on destroyed beyond repair is the YouTube algorithm. That's all for now, but I'll be back with more soon. So stay tuned for that, do all the YouTube things, and I'll see you next time.